Good morning. Welcome to another One Mind meditation. Our teacher for this week is John Wellwood. And today's message from John Wellwood is that we are really messy, and also maybe because of the messiness we are really beautiful. So while I get into today's message and read through these thoughts from John Wellwood, the only thing you need to do right now is get yourself comfortable. Bring your attention to your breathing. Inhale deep into your belly, slowly out, and we'll be ready to float away together in just a few minutes. Danae, good morning. Somebody, good morning. Granu, good morning. Awesome seeing you all right here. Right, let's get into it. There is a beautiful paradox to being human. We are a glorious tapestry woven with vibrant threads of strength, resilience, and love. And also, among these vibrant threads are undeniably threads of imperfection, insecurities, and occasional stumbles, inseparable from the woven whole. Hey Sarah, good morning. It's good to see you. The question is whether the value of the tapestry is increased or decreased by these so-called flaws. And that is a question that only you can answer for yourself. Charlene, good morning. Good to see you. Hello. John Wellwood says, "You are flawed and you are stuck in old patterns. You become carried away with yourself. Indeed, you are quite impossible in many ways. And still, you are beautiful beyond measure. For the core of what you are is fashioned out of love, that potent blend of openness, warmth, and clear, transparent presence. Still, you are beautiful beyond measure." Linda, good morning. And Linda, good morning. Awesome seeing you. Hello. There is undeniably a messiness about being human. And most of us were taught that being less than perfect makes us unacceptable. The truth is that being a human animal means that we are both messy and also beautiful. John Wellwood says, "Spiritual bypassing is a term that I coined to describe a process I saw happening in the Buddhist community that I was in, and also in myself. Although most of us were sincerely trying to work on ourselves, I noticed a widespread tendency to use spiritual ideas and practices to sidestep or avoid facing unresolved emotional issues, psychological wounds, and unfinished developmental tasks. When we are spiritually bypassing, when we're not coming face to face with the work that's there to be done, then we often use the goal of awakening or liberation to rationalize what I call premature transcendence, trying to rise above the raw, messy side of our humanness before we have fully faced and made peace with it." Maggie, good morning. It's very good to see you. Today's meditation is 100% about facing the raw, messy side of our humanness and getting to a place of peace with it. We don't step into the power of our light by pretending we don't have shadow. Don't run from any of this. Sit, stay, be with it. Growth doesn't come from a place of self-punishment or striving for flawlessness. It blossoms from a place of self-acceptance and gentle forgiveness. So the next time you stumble, the next time your ego takes the wheel, don't run. Sit with it. Feel the discomfort. Feel the shame even. Feel the anger. Hold those scared parts within you until they feel a little lighter. Then ask yourself, who am I being while I hold these scared parts? This simple question can be a powerful catalyst for self-discovery and acceptance. We don't do better because we stop making mistakes. We do better because we become a bit softer and gentler, and we forgive a bit easier, ourselves and also others. So if you're ready, you can close your eyes and let's float away on today's journey together, starting with the first few big breaths. Let's take a deep breath in and out. Take a deep breath in and out. A deep inhale. And let it go. Deep breath in. And out. One more big breath in. And let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. And as you fill up your belly with air, also raise yourself up. As you breathe in, stretch out your spine, lift the top of your head toward the ceiling. And once you've reached your full height, let all of it go. As you exhale, soften. As you breathe out, soften your spine, slump down your shoulders, and drop your head. Our meditation today invites our inner children to come and sit with us. In our example today, these inner children will be the part of you that sometimes feels hurt, a part of you that sometimes feels hurt. We say an inner child, but it doesn't have to be the sense of a child. It could be however you sense yourself to be in those moments that you perhaps feel a bit hurt. And then the part of you that sometimes has harsh words, like a harsh inner critic, sometimes speaking to yourself harshly and perhaps even to the people around you. And then a part of you that sometimes feels scared. These are the three inner children we are inviting today you are, of course, welcome to use your own example. As we continue our full body breathing, as you rise with every inhale and fall with every exhale, invite these three inner children to come and sit with you. Come and breathe along with you. In my mind, this always looks like the grade 1 teacher calling the kids to come and sit around her on the carpet for story time. While you continue your full body breathing, recognize that there's a part of you that sometimes feels hurt. There's a part of you that sometimes in your inner world speaks harsh words to you. We tend to call that an inner critic. And then there is a part of you that sometimes feels scared. While you continue your full body breathing, let these three inner children know that today we are here to really listen. We want to hear them. We want to understand. We're not turning away. We're not pretending that these shadow parts of us don't exist. We are creating a space of gentle acceptance. And our motivation for doing this is simply to understand. To understand the weaving of the whole tapestry. And not pretend that the dark threads don't exist. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, helping our bodies stretch and adjust and settle down into as much comfort as possible for the rest of our journey. And if you're able to, use your imagination to invite these three inner children to take these few breaths and stretches along with us. Let's take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward and roll out your neck muscles, going forward and to the left, and forward and to the right. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big circles, nice and slow. Take a deep breath in. As you release, focus on your spine. You can lean your upper body over to the left and also lean your upper body over to the right. One more big breath in. And as you release, you can stretch or move or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. Having softened our bodies into a state of presence, or at least as much as we are able to, we can now turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. If you don't have the time to sit for the whole meditation with us, then this is always a really good place to stop. But if you are here for the whole journey, then with every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel into your body. Feel how softness slips in and settles in every part of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow through your body. Feel your shoulders slowly folding. Feel your body slowly softening. And feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself melting. Feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation. It invites you to turn inwards and follow this journey. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath, but hold it only for as long as it feels comfortable, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, I want to remind you of these 3 inner children that we invited to sit with us. The part of you that sometimes feels hurt, the part of you that sometimes speaks in a harsh, critical voice, the part of you that sometimes feels scared. Become aware of them sitting with you, with us, as you take your next big breath. We turn our attention first towards the part of you that sometimes feels hurt. This part of us could perhaps sometimes be described as sensitive, oversensitive. Sometimes this part of us might feel hurt by something someone else said, something someone else did, or just by the world being what it is. As you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, we're asking this part, the part that sometimes feels hurt, we're asking it to speak and remind us of how it speaks in those moments that we feel hurt. It is very likely that the same sentences, the same words are on repeat like a recording every time we feel hurt. So it shouldn't be too difficult to recall how this part speaks. Again, make it clear to yourself, to this part of you, that we are here to listen. We are here to understand. So as you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, remind yourself of how it feels and the thoughts and words you think when you feel hurt. Take your next big breath. Then with your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, I want you to ask this part of you that sometimes feels hurt. I want you to ask it a question. But asking these inner questions take a bit of skill. It can take us a while to get good at asking these inner questions, because This only works when we are not desperate for an answer, when we can ask a question and also let it go. Ask a question and not use our brain to think of an answer. Because I promise you, your body holds the answer. Your system has the answer for you. And if you're able to ask the question but also soften, just let the question go and trust your body to have an answer whenever you are ready. So with your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, turn to this hurt part and say, in those moments that you feel hurt, you've just told me how it feels when you're hurt, the words you say, the thoughts you think. In those moments, what is it that you were afraid will happen? What is it that you are afraid is going to happen? Take your next big breath. Take a moment to thank this hurt part of you. Thank it for being here, speaking, being heard. We'll move our attention over to the critic part, so often called the inner critic. That voice that each of us has at least some experience with, that speaks to us so harshly, and sometimes even to the people around us. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, ask your inner critic to speak. Ask this critic to remind you of how it speaks when it's triggered, when it feels so angry. Remind yourself of all of the ways that this voice in you attacks you. Don't turn away. Sit with it for a moment. Take your next big breath. We have to thank the inner critic for speaking as well. We don't have appreciation for our whole tapestry until we can sit even with this critic and feel ourselves being friendly towards this voice. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, I want you to ask this inner critic a question. It's thought something like, I have the sense that, inner critic, what you're doing is you're trying to prevent something from happening. You're trying to protect me from something, perhaps. So as you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, the question to ask your inner critic is, what is it that you really want for me? What are you trying to prevent from happening? Or just simply, what is it that you really want for me? Take your next big breath. Take a moment to thank the inner critic for speaking, for being heard and being held. And then we'll turn our attention to the part of you that sometimes feels scared. As you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, ask the scared part of you to speak, to remind you of how it speaks when it feels scared. What are the words, the sentences? What is on repeat every time you feel scared? How is it that your body feels when you feel scared? Take your next big breath. And then, of course, we wanted to ask the scared part a question too, inviting it to speak and let us know the answer. Sometimes the answer becomes really clear, and sometimes it's not so instant and clear. Either way is okay. Just see how your body responds. So as you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, turn towards the scared part and ask, in those moments where you feel scared, what is your deep desire for me? In the moments that you feel so scared, what is your deepest desire for us? Take your next big breath. Thank the scared part especially for showing up, for being seen, for being heard. Bring all three of these inner children closer. As we take the last few big breaths of this phase together, ask them to sit wherever it is that they feel comfortable. It could be on your lap, could be just next to you, could be in your arms, whatever works for you. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel how softness slips in and settles in every cell of your body. One more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back or even lie all the way back down and feel yourself just floating. I want to remind you again of the power of doing this work, the empowerment that comes from dealing directly with, let's just call it your shadow. On the one side, there is learning to be comfortable with all of you, everything about you, without pushing anything away, that we get to understand. We get to understand all the parts that make up who we are, all the parts that make us human. We all have them. And we can put different labels on these different ideas. Sometimes we could call it a voice that speaks, different voices that speaks, a part, an inner child, shadow. It doesn't matter what we call it. We have these different aspects to our humanness. And on the one hand is understanding those different aspects. But on the other hand, the really powerful part of this is, who am I being in this moment that I'm able to hold them, that I'm able to listen to the hurt part of me, listen to the critic part of me, and listen to the scared part of me. While I'm able to do this, who am I being? What is this side of me? The side of me that has the capacity for listening and holding and understanding. Because now I'm not being the hurt part in this moment. I'm listening to it. I'm not being the critic. I'm listening to it. And I'm not being the scared part. I am listening to it. Every time that I do this work, I am practicing being this strong part of me. And we could give this many different labels too. Wisdom, higher self, soul, being, whatever we want to call this, the more we practice being it, the more we start living from this side of us, taking action from this side of us. But we only get to experience and grow into the strong part of us when we are able to hold all of it. To call the scared parts closer and listen to them while we practice being the best part of us. We have the last 5 breaths of gratitude to do together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say yours. Let's take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning how to hold this whole tapestry that I am. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning to have a very real, very deep appreciation for all the parts of me, especially, and this is just a label, a word to describe it, but especially the flawed parts of me. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for having completely let go of the idea of being perfect. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for appreciating the beauty of holding the scared parts, and every day trying to make the best decisions I possibly can. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. Thank you for spending a little bit of time with us and all of these inner children. Anna Marie, good morning. It's good to see you. Hey, Vivian, good morning. Always awesome having you here with us. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Grania. Thank you, Danae. Good morning. It's good to see you. Thank you, Sun Marie. Thank you, Charlene. Thank you, other Linda. Have a beautiful day, everyone. There really is something so profoundly powerful about being exactly who you are. No longer trying to be something you're not. And developing an ease in holding together all the parts that make up the human that is you. Have an awesome day. See you soon. Ciao, ciao.